Welcome to the testing world. So in previous session we have seen project and package. Now I'm coming to actual programming. So agenda of this session would be, first of all we are going to cover class. Even we have created a class file before. It's a .java file. Then I'm going to show you what is variable, and then we are going to cover constants. In next lecture I'll explain you method and then constructors. That would be a basic of Java programming. And one more thing I want to explain here, if you get understanding of class, variable, constants, method and constructor, then it will be easy for you to perform activities in Java and write automation code. So let's move to the Eclipse. Yeah, here on the Eclipse previously we have created a package and a class. Okay, let me just delete it and create one more time. So I'm here on the package, right click, new, class. Okay, class is the file where we are going to write actual automation, actual Java code, or we can call it automation code because we are going to use Java for the automation. As I select class, it will ask the name of the class. As I updated you before, as per standard, class name should be started with the capital letter. So if I say I have a class with the name A, enter, it will create a Java file. So a Java file is created with the name a.java. And also it is open, and here you can see a class is created. Boundary of the class is started from here and ended here. Okay, what is class? Do we have any technical definition of it? Answer is yes. But as of now we are not bothered about these technical definitions. First we will learn how we can do it practically, then I'll show you theoretical definition of each and everything. So when we create a Java file, a class is created with the same name. So name of the class is same as Java file name. And boundary of class is defined from here till here. Now the file is open and we are ready to write code. Now we have to understand few rules of the Java. So rule 1 of the Java is, I'm just using double slash, which is used for commenting. So for single line comment, I'm using double forward slash. So rule 1 of the Java is, whatever code you are going to write should be inside class boundary. So here you can easily understand whatever the code we are going to write, it should be inside the boundary of the class. So boundary of the class started from here till here. If we write any code outside this, it will throw us error. I'll show you what do you mean by that. Okay. Now, second rule is, in a class we can have, and these rules are not defined anywhere in the book, that I'm explaining you. If you remember that, it will be easy for you to write code. So rule 2 is, in a class we can have variables, constants, functions, we also call it methods, and at the last constructors. So how to write it, what is the meaning of different terms, I'll explain. Now I'll start with variable, but before moving to the variable we have seen comment. So whatever the line you want to write for the information purpose only, you don't want to execute them, we can make it comment. To make a single line comment we can use double forward slash, but if you want to make more than one line comment, so forward slash star, that means that's the starting of the comment, and till the point you write star forward slash, that's a comment. So comment is started from here till here, that is called multi-line comment. Okay, now I'm coming to the variable. So if I say I have a data, I have a numeric data, it's my marks, I want to store them. So I have a marks which is in the integer format, means it's a simple number, I want to store it. For that we have to use a variable. So variables are used to store some data. Value of the variable can be changed. So if you want to create a variable, first of all we have to define what kind of data you want to save. So I'm writing int. Int means it is going to hold integer value, that is called data type. So here data type is int. What is the variable name? So variable name is marks, and what is the value of that? So I'm saying like 80. So I have created a variable with the name marks, value is 80, and its data type is integer. So it's going to hold integer value, means non-decimal numeric value. Okay, if you want, you can keep the name of the variable is A, B, C, X, Y, Z. We can give any name to the variable, but it always a good practice to give a meaningful name to the variable. So I'm just giving a meaningful name, whatever you have. Okay, we can create any number of variables. So I'm creating one more variable like percentage, and I'm also taking it as a integer, means I don't want to store decimal values. So I'm creating one more variable percentage, but as of now I do not have percentage value. So whenever we are creating variable, it's not mandatory to give initial value. If you have initial value, give it over here. If you don't have initial value, just leave it blank. Just don't give it over here. Later on we can change it. So we can create any number of variables over here. Okay. As of now I have created two variables. One is holding a value, another is not holding a value. But both variables hold numeric value, which is an integer value without decimal point. If we try to store a decimal point value, it will start to throw error because we have created a variable of type int. Data type is integer. So you can hold only integer value. If you want to hold numeric value with decimal point, we have a data type with the name float. Later on I'll explain you all data types. Here I'm giving you basic data types which we are going to use very frequently. So I'm saying, okay, my data is calculation. So I'm going to hold final calculation in a variable with the name calc, and that's a float. And I want to store value 11.3. But whenever you are using float, we have to mention at the end f, means it's a float value. So I have shown you numeric and numeric without decimal point, with decimal point. In the same way, we have many other data types. One would be Boolean. Boolean means true or false. So I'm saying I have a variable b and I'm storing true here. In the same way, if you want to store a character, so I'm saying char c and I want to store a in that. So whenever you are storing a numeric value, it's directly you have to return, like here as well. But whenever you want to store character or string, I'll show you string, that is placed in single quotes. So it's a character. If you heard about string, string means group of character. So we'll have to write like this. But if you notice here, int, float, everywhere color is changed. Here it's not. String is not a data type. What is string? I'll explain you later. But if you want, you can create it like this. So now we have seen variables. If I give you definition, variables are used to hold data, and variable value can be changed. Okay. Next I'm coming to constants. So if you know, constants also used to hold data, value of the constants cannot be changed. So here I have a variable. If you want to make constant, just write final. So as I write final in front of that, it becomes constant. We cannot change its value. So that is one constant and one variable. But if I try to create this one as a constant as well, it started to give error. Why? Because when we are creating variables, it is optional to give initial value. You can give initial value, you can skip it. But when we are defining constants, it always mandatory to give initial value. Why? What do you mean with the constants? Constants are used to hold data. Value of the constants cannot be changed. So because value cannot be changed, so while declaring the constant, we have to give initial value. So again, if I say what is constant? Constants are used to save or hold data. Value cannot be changed. So that is constant. So here I'm creating one variable and one constant. Now we got understanding of variable and constant. Okay, at the starting of this session, I was explaining whatever the code you are writing, that must be inside this boundary. We are writing it. Also, one thing you will notice, whatever the lines we are writing at the end, we are using semicolon, means end of the line. So it's mandatory to use semicolon at the end of the line here in Java. Also, if I cut this line and try to write outside the boundary, you will notice it is started to give error. It's a syntactical error. You cannot write anything outside the boundary. So that is mandatory for us. Okay, I have just written it over here. Now we have a class, we have a variable, we have a constant. In next session, I'll show you how we can use these variables and constant, how we can change value of the variable. So I'll cover up in the coming session. That's all we have for this session. Thanks for watching this video.